A dynamic conversation is that kind of conversation where there is a two-way share. You share, they share. It's not always about us doing all the sharing. And when we do this type of communication, we end up engaging in a dialogue versus a monologue. Because if we continue in the state of monologue, it continues to sound like this on the other end: wonk, 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 wonk. And dynamic conversations are important. And I'll tell you why. They're important because it helps us to build relationships, and not just any kind of relationship, but the right relationships. And it allows us to connect with others on a much deeper level. So you don't stay surface. You're able to connect on a much deeper level with the person you're conversing with. So who am I? My name is Karen Quick, two-time best-selling author and founder of the Quick Six. And there were times in my life where I dominated the conversation. Not maliciously, but I enjoy talking. I get excited when I talk. And so I want to get out what I have to say. How many times have you been in that position where you've dominated the conversation, right? And so when you do that, at least when I did that, it didn't allow me to connect with the person that I was talking to. And I know time over time, I had missed out on some opportunities with connecting with some really cool people who I not only could pour in and impact, but who could also over time be able to impact my life, right? So I want to be able to share with you some quick tips so that if you find yourself like me, because I know we have a tendency to do that, especially when we're excited, dominate the conversation, jump in when someone's trying to get their point across because we got to get out what we got to say. Think of it in a way of there's a two-way conversation. When you're a dynamic about your conversations, you're making sure that not only you get your point across, so you're engaging and talking, but you're also allowing the other person to get their point across and engage and talk as well, so that it is a two-way conversation. So get your pen and paper out and get ready to write, because I have 3 quick tips for you to help you become better at being a dynamic conversationalist. Okay? Quick tip number 1. You want to be intriguing. How many times you've gone to the movies and if it didn't catch you in the first 5-10 minutes, or if it's just me, in the first 5-10 minutes you were asleep, right? And so you want to be intriguing. You want to have the person on the receiving end who's listening to you as you share about yourself be interested in what you're saying, as well as you want the person that you're talking to feel the energy that you have, that you're interesting, that you're intriguing, and be curious to want to know more about you. So be intriguing. Quick tip number 2, be interested. Be interested in the person that you're talking to. And I mean really interested in the person that you're talking to. So how do you go about doing that? You want to ask open-ended questions, right? Good open-ended questions. So don't ask questions where they can say yes, no to, right? So you want to ask questions to tell me a little bit about yourself, right? What do you enjoy doing on the weekend? And if it's a career conversation, you can expand that and say, hey, tell me more about your organization. How does it impact the company? And so that it's not a yes or no. You like blue? Yes, I like blue. Do you like to eat Mexican food? Yes, I like to eat Mexican food. So you want to stay away from those type of questions and ask the more engaging kinds of questions. So because it makes you appear that you're actually interested in the person you're talking to. Quick tip number 3, being timely and prepared. This is a big one, being timely and prepared. Because if you're at work, I have many times where someone asked to speak with me, do a one-on-one, or have me coach them. and the meeting was at 11 and they didn't get to my office till 11:10 or 11:15, and that's just not respecting the time of others. So you definitely want to be timely. Or if you're not at work and you're out at a networking event or at a picnic, you want to be also respectful of a person's time. You don't want to capitalize on all of their time talking to them, right? So you be timely about your communication as well as being prepared. Every dynamic conversation, you're sharing pertinent information and facts to move the conversation forward. You're not gossiping, I'll put it that way. So the gossiping, leave the gossiping to the side, because that's definitely not a part of having an effective dynamic conversation. So leave the gossiping to the side, but being prepared with pertinent information and facts to move your conversation from point A to point B. Okay? So, in having your dynamic conversations, just a quick recap. Quick tip number 1, be intriguing. Make them curious and want to know more about you. Be interested. Be interested in them by asking great, not just good, but great questions. And quick tip number 3, being timely and prepared. So if this information was of value to you, feel free and pass it along so that others can also get this information. And remember that I am your sister, always wanting you to be audacious and willing to excel. Until next time, go out there and have those dynamic conversations.